Hey, everybody. Today we have Ashley from On Wednesdays, We Talk Weird. Before I give you the floor and let you kind of talk about your pod and everything, I do want to go ahead. I know I have a disclaimer in the intro. I might change it. If not, I'm going to put an extra disclaimer here on top of the foul language. Things might get a little raunchy. Just bear with it and suck it up. So if you're not down for any innuendos, I was going to say there's the door, but there's the stop button. If you got little kids in the room or anywhere in the vicinity, hit the stop button, come back later, preferably. Okay. That being said, you want to take a minute and let everybody know kind of, what your pod's about or anything that you got going on where they can find you, a little
Oh
promo
gosh.
section.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Ashley Hilt. I'm a Fortean investigator. I know that about 80% of you probably doesn't know what that means, but that's okay. That means that I study cryptozoology and ufology and the paranormal and the occult. I've been doing field research and investigative work for about almost 5 years now. Well, no, turns out nobody pays you for that. So I had to turn to content creation, and I have a fantastic podcast called On Wednesdays We Talk Weird, where we cover everything every Wednesday. You can find it basically anywhere you listen to podcasts. And it also comes with a disclaimer. It's not for your children to listen to. It is for you and maybe your partner at the same time for sexy reasons.
Ooh.
But yeah, of course,
Oh
because
my
the
gosh, it's
topics
like a new version of foreplay.
it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, turn on Wednesdays We Talk Weird to get yourself into the mood. No, in all seriousness, it is a comedy-based show, but the facts are legitimate. I am a skeptical believer in my research, so anything that you hear on there is very well researched. We try to deliver the facts or as close to the facts as we can get. I co-host the show with my host Tobias Whalen and Kenzie Gleason, so check that out.
Let me guess. You release on Mondays?
Yeah, and Sundays sometimes.
Well, I was
Um,
just laughing because you said on Wednesdays we talk weird, and I was like,
it comes
I
out
release
every
on Wednesday.
Wednesday. It comes
I
out
was
every
like,
Wednesday. But you don't have to
well,
listen to it on Wednesdays. You can listen to it. Well, we have about 200 episodes now, so at this point, 5 days or 5 days a week, 7 days a week, if you'd like. That's
hey, you
fine.
heard the lady. Go binge listen.
Go listen to it.
And later, I'll get the links from you, and I'll put them in the description of the podcast as well, so that way everybody can find you easily. And whenever I post the episodes, I kind of like tag you galore. So just be prepared to get like a shit ton of notifications
Oh yeah, please
when
do.
it comes out. So,
Yeah.
okay. And given my disclaimer earlier, I have to giggle because today we're talking about the Goatman,
Oh gosh.
which is really weird to pair my sexual innuendos, disclaimer with a Goatman. It's
Well,
just I can see this could go many different directions, and I just want to make sure I cover all my bases just in case.
it's not that. I mean, there's definitely a tie there. So
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, we'll go ahead and dive in here and see how it goes.
sure.
In 1970, researchers at Beltsville Agricultural Research Center, dear God, that's a lot to say, in Western Maryland were conducting empirical experiments on some goats when something went catastrophically wrong. There was an accident at the facility that somehow supposedly turned one of the researchers into a hideous beast appearing to have the lower half of a human and the upper half of a goat. And all I'm thinking of is what's that? Okay, it's a cartoon. Monsters versus Aliens.
Okay.
And you had the scientist that was working with flies, which I think is actually like a normal adult movie that does something like this. But the guy somehow the experiment goes awry and he comes out and he's got like a fly head now,
Yeah,
but
that's the
he's
fly. Yeah.
he's a scientist, but he's just got a fly head. Um, of course, I would take the kitty version of it, but whatever. And that's all I'm thinking of. So it's like, what type of experiments are these fuckers doing that could possibly give you man legs and a goat top?
That seems to be like the most, like the least efficient, right? Wouldn't you rather have like the goat bottom and the human top?
Mm, well, it just says half. So like where is half? Is it like belly button up? Is it
Hmm.
like hips? Is it rib cage? Does he have like little goat arms or does he just have a goat head?
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? The arms, right? So like you'd want to have human arms and not like
Oh my
poof
gosh.
hands
Yeah, I mean imagine trying to like
do
unlock a
anything.
door and get in the door.
Right, you couldn't leave. So how it broke out to begin with, I don't know,
Oh
but
my gosh. And immediately, see, we've not even made it 2 minutes in. I'm gonna be like, how are you gonna play with yourself?
true. He's
I
gonna
mean,
he's gonna he's gonna use his pussy and he's gonna he's gonna get to work. I mean, I don't know. When you don't have
that is
hands,
perfect.
you use your feet really well, you know?
But yeah, I just was trying to figure out like what caused it. Were they trying to like stick the two together? And maybe they were. Maybe they took like the top half of both, tried to put them both together, and the bottom goat and the top person didn't make it, but the top goat and the bottom person did.
Um,
I mean, because they were
I
doing some
yeah. I
jacked up
mean,
shit like back in like what World War II era, like Germany, like the scientists were doing all kinds of heinous things.
sure. Sure, they were. I am of the camp. If I'm going to be not silly and real for a second, I'm of the camp that we have not perfected human animal hybrids. So to me, this automatically, I'm like, I don't think that's where he came from. But we've tried it. We have tried it a lot actually. There's like I believe it's a Russian experiment that was
Oh, I
conducted, yeah, and she was, trying to I believe it was a woman, but I don't know for sure. Anyway, the whole team was trying to have like a chimpanzee human hybrid
yes.
baby. And even though they were able to successfully impregnate a female chimpanzee, they were never able to get it past any type of real stage for it to be viable. So we've never been able to successfully do it, and that's just the differences in our chromosomes and our general makeup. Um,
Now, so see, when I think of it from a different fucked up German experiment. And I somewhere between this is gonna be like really bad because like it's a big gap, but somewhere between I think like the 30s and the 50s or 60s, they actually took two, I think they were chimpanzees, and they beheaded them,
yep, I already know what you're talking about.
swapped the heads, reattached it, and that
Mhm.
motherfucker lived for like a month
Yeah,
or
it
something
was
stupid.
the
See,
same
that's what
guy
I
who was
think
doing
of.
he was doing it with dogs,
Yeah, well, he was
and
attaching extra heads to the dogs too.
extra heads of the dogs, and those heads would live at least for
Yeah,
a minute. They'd live for a while,
yeah, like
and
a couple weeks or something, I think is what I saw for one of the dog ones that they
oh yeah.
did.
And there's like video of it, and it's horrifying. But
Yep.
they did it with chimpanzees. They did a human, well, not a human head, but a head transplant. And there was talk back in, I believe it was 2017. It might have been a little bit earlier, of us potentially conducting a human head transplant, where you had there was paraplegics, right, taking their head and putting it on a cadaver's body, to see if it worked. And they actually got approval to do so. I think it was in China,
Whoa.
but there was a guy who initially had volunteered, and then and then it just never came to be. I don't know if he pulled his consent or
I feel like you
if
would want something already living.
he passed. Well, I mean, but you can't just like behead people that are alive and like steal their body, you know?
But I'm just thinking, like, I wouldn't want like somebody that's like, oh, this one's been in the morgue for like a week.
They're probably freshly dead. It's like
Oh,
when you
okay.
do like organ donation, when you're an organ donor and like you're hooked up to machinery and stuff, even though they pronounce you
They
dead at like a
could
certain
keep you
time,
alive.
they keep you alive for a little while they take those organs out so that way they
Ugh.
can successfully be transported. It's really gruesome.
That's why I'm not an organ donor. That I don't have much left in here.
Yeah,
Um,
don't do it.
but yeah, that's what I think of when I think of, combining and doing the hybrid thing. I don't think of it as much of a like a breeding standpoint. I think of it more of like a Frankenstein, I guess, kind of standpoint, which would make sense in this scenario to end up with what they ended up with.
Right. So if the goat top half, if it's a goat top and a human bottom, then that would mean that the goat brain would be in control of the whole thing, right?
Ooh, that's a good point. Well, unless it is like a situation with the fly guy, because he still had the person brain.
He did. True, but he did eventually become a fly monster.
Oh, see,
It was like a
I've
slow,
not,
it was like a
I've
slow
not seen it.
progression.
Oh, well, so much for that theory.
You should watch it. It's got sexy Jeff Goldblum in it, and I mean, really, he's hot in the Fly
Who's
movie.
that?
Jeff Goldblum? You know who Jeff Goldblum is?
I really am not good with names. What else is he in?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, like the first one?
Yeah, like he's
Wait,
the
is he
dark-haired guy
the
with the shirt open, the
Life
sexy
Finds?
guy.
Oh, ew, no,
Oh, really? No.
no,
Oh.
no,
More
not
Jeff
doing it for
Goldblum for
me.
me. That's
Yeah, you could have all you want. That's not my cup of tea for sure. Ugh, I don't know, it's just weird. I see, and I think of him more of like when he was on Law and Order.
I didn't know he was on Law and Order, but I guess everybody does Law and Order at some point. So,
I really like him in Law and Order. He was pretty
what's
good.
is he a bad guy?
He's a very
I
like
don't
psychologically based theory type cop. Scientist that morphed into the odd sensation that he was, that was working with these poor little gullible goats, was then said to aggressively attack the nearby vehicles and even his co-workers before just ditching and just bailing into the woods. I mean, just takes off.
yeah.
And that is just one of the many origin stories of the Goatman.
Oh yeah.
So then there's encounters in Maryland that led to the following description of the monster on top of just the, half and half that we got. So in most of these, they do say again, well, actually, these ones are backwards. So it's the lower body of a goat, the upper body of a man, horns growing out of his head, and he stands between 6 to 8 feet, which is 1.8, 2.4 meters tall. And what I think is funny is it says that he produces a high pitched squeal.
Okay. Like a pig?
I That's what I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking this, 6 to 8 foot tall man goat. I would not expect a high pitched squeal. I would expect something a little more deep and like guttural.
With a little baby voice.
Yeah, it's like a baby goat. Oh my gosh, what if it got mixed with a fainting goat?
That would be some shit. They'd be
Oh my god,
easier to catch.
that'd be hysterical. Like this big thing just rampaging, and then you just walk up and you're like, "Excuse me," and it's like, and it falls over. They're like, "Wow,
Okay.
they got SWAT waiting in the sidelines, snipers on the roofs, and then all you have to do is like poke it on the shoulder, and it like faints."
Yeah.
Like, well, that was anticlimactic. But they do say he's also very hard to miss because he just reeks to high heavens.
Yeah.
And they also say that he kind of is known for his weapon of choice, which is an axe.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is he getting the axe?
That's a question that I always ask in the Goatman lore. I'm constantly curious about
Oh
like
wait,
what.
I have an idea.
Okay.
It's Maryland.
Okay.
Thing says that he just takes off randomly in the woods. It's Western Maryland. It's probably wooded in some capacity. So people, I'm assuming, they might have a hunting cabin or just a recreational cabin up in the woods somewhere that they might, have to split wood for the furnace for the heat and everything while they're using it. And maybe they might not think to lock up their axes, because they're out in no man's land. Or maybe they just forgot and they just got it leaned up against the shed or something. So that way they could just chop wood efficiently. And maybe he just stumbled across it and was like, I need something and this will do.
Yeah, but then what happens when it breaks? I mean, ultimately, the axes break. He just steals another one. It's-
Maybe.
so
I'm just,
he's
some of
into
them,
petty
they can
crime.
withstand a lot. Yeah. Doing
That's
a little
fine.
beanie.
Yeah.
I wonder where he sleeps.
Well, outside he's a goat. They sleep outside.
Oh, wait. We'll get into it probably. My bad. Sorry, it's been a rough few days. My brain's not functioning at full capacity. But with that description in mind, there's another legend that states that the creature was not created by men conducting experiments, but was simply a cryptid with a more human-like top half minus the horns and the legs of a goat, kind of like the fawns of mythology, like Phil from Hercules.
Interesting.
So, not threatening in my opinion.
No.
But then leads me to, does that mean he's got a goat pecker?
Um, well,
At what
probably.
point do you get which is which? You know what I'm saying?
Like he still has a little pecker pouch, but it's a human penis that comes out of it. I don't know if
Goat
goats have a
goat
pecker pouch.
balls. Goat balls and a human pecker. Oh my God.
Yeah, why not?
Or like what if the division is like in a weird spot and you end up with both? And then you could like, do some DP action on your own.
I never thought that I would do this, but here I am on this day of our Lord, Wednesday, and I'm Googling goat penis
Yeah, oh yeah, what
because
does it look like?
I've never even, oh, they're so small.
It at least it's not, well, that's what she said. Ah, at least it's not like the a cat or whatever. I think it's a cat that like the male is like a corkscrew. So it like really fucking hurts the poor little kitty cat.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it looks a lot like a dog penis, just long and weird,
You could
thin.
totally, okay, I could see this working.
There's a statue. Okay.
Oh
Google
my God.
if you Google goat penis, there's a statue that comes up on Google Images, and it is two goats that are standing up on hind legs. They're making out, and they
What?
both have erect human penises.
Well, I think I need to turn on my safe search here. Let me turn on my safe search. Incognito. Goat penis.
Goat penis. It's like
Why did it give me like cover art? Oh
goat
my
penis.
God.
Do you see the statue? Are you looking at it?
No, I just see all the penises. Oh,
All the
let's
goat penises. Why? I mean, they both have human penises, but they're like complete
that
goat.
one goat looks like a female goat. It doesn't have horns, does it?
It might. It's just got its head turned.
Okay, I will not. Oh my gosh, did you see the little like where it's like a goat body and
Yeah,
a penis head?
a penis head. Yeah.
Okay, we're not gonna post these on social media and get ourselves flagged,
No.
but you can Google that shit.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And you can apparently buy goat penises to eat, I guess.
Maybe it's one of those like whatever those things are called, like oysters that get you horny.
I'll pass. I'm not hungry.
I don't like oysters either. Um,
Anyway,
but
I just was curious. I'd never seen it. So as far as what type of penis the goat man has, I would hope that it's human. Um,
you
compared
see
to
how
the
long
goat.
those fuckers get?
They do get really long, but they're really thin.
That would definitely be the anal probe.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh
God.
God. Anyway, next theory.
Don't have sex with goats. I'll just say that
Yeah. Oh
up
God,
front.
please don't. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. I mean, usually I wouldn't yuck your yum. I'm yucking that
Yeah,
for
no.
sure.
No, thank you.
Um, but another theory that they have is that the goat man is more like a Bigfoot-esque kind of creature, where it's, big. It's virtually a goat that I'm assuming has human hands and I don't know what's going on with the feet, but it's like hairy all over. It's got the horns. It's got the goat head. It's just bipedal as opposed to quadruped.
Yeah, it's an anthropomorphic goat.
Yeah,
So I would agree. When I think of goat man, that's the image that I get, right? It looks like a goat, however, it is standing on two legs. I imagine that its feet are hooves, but it does have hands.
yeah. That's what I'm
Um,
thinking.
and it's just huge, right? And it's got big old horns. And like that's how you would know seeing one of those compared to a Bigfoot, Bigfoot with horns, I guess, is more and
Yeah,
hooves. Yeah.
and in a longer face or like a
Yeah.
more protruding face.
Yeah.
But another thing that is put into consideration is an evil spirit from Native American lore that's referred to as an Okie, which, from what I've gathered, is kind of like a pissed off goat herder seeking revenge on teens who killed the goats that he loved.
I don't want to think about the goats that this man
We'll
loved.
we'll get more into this. Okay, so they say there was actually a goat farmer,
Mhm.
and what happened was, okay, we say love the goats. I think of it like, put it in instance of, say, you're a person working at the dog shelter.
Sure.
You love the dogs, you take care of the dogs are like family, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he loves the goats, but then he just straight up massacres a bunch of teens after, getting evidence that they, I guess for prank purposes,
Hmm.
just thought it'd be funny to kill his goats. I don't really understand that one, but I
I
mean, I've
mean,
tipped cows, but I've never killed a goat.
yeah. Yeah. I've got tipped cows. And that's surprising considering I live in Ohio. And I imagine that's popular here.
Well,
Um, you know,
I don't know a lot of people that have done it. We just wanted to see if it worked.
did it work?
It worked.
It died? Is that what's supposed to happen?
No,
They
no.
die?
You tip so the cows sleep standing up.
Okay.
So you wait for them to sleep, and then you push them off the side, and because they're asleep, they just kind of like a fading goat. They just fall over, and then they have a really hard time getting up, and it's really funny to watch.
Oh.
Um, However, make sure the bull is not out
Yeah,
when
he'll
you do
fuck your
this.
shit up.
Yeah, he will, and they run fast.
Yeah. So, I agree. I've never thought about the going and killing anybody's goat. So he is taking, so he's a goat farmer. The teens come and kill his goat, maybe for whatever reason, prank,
Like,
whatever.
yeah, I'm like, well, maybe if they were something, if they were like pigs or cows, you could like kill them and then like take them home and eat them. I would understand,
Mhm.
but
You
just
eat- I mean, you can eat goat, like you can eat goat penis even, apparently.
it's really not that good. I mean, it's okay. They make really
Yeah.
good tacos.
Yeah, goat farming, actually, when we did our own Goatman episode over on my show, I was curious, what the fuck do people farm goats for? What do they
All
do?
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, apparently
Milk. You
milk
can
is
make
like the
soap.
most. Yeah. Apparently the dairy products are a great cash cow, but cash goat
Hmm.
in this case. And so I had to look that up. So yeah, so you typically wouldn't slaughter a goat to eat it.
I ate a goat. That fucker had it coming. Okay, I gotta tell you the story. I don't. Okay, it's a really funny story. All right. We had a family friend. So my family is friends with this family, and like we all kind of paired up. There's each a kid basically the same age as the other kid. It just kind of worked out. Our parents were friends. We just did everything. I mean, we'd spend Easter's and Christmas and everything together. And I don't remember. I think it was Easter one year, and they had this goat, and I'm talking goat, big horns, motherfucker was huge. And I had my toddling toddler that was not walking very gracefully. So we were at the Easter thing, and their goat was notorious for getting out. And so my son was maybe 18 months, 2 years old, just not sturdy on his feet. And he was just kind of running around, having a blast. This fucking goat gets out. And that motherfucker looks right at my kid and starts charging.
Okay.
Of course, me being me, I push my kid back and right as soon, he almost clocked my kid full speed. And like I had a hold of both his horns and he was like, it was kind of, wet out. So like I was sliding, he was pushing me and I was pushing with like everything I had and he just kept sliding me backwards. And so eventually I'd back up and I'd, slam his horns down and like get him to put his feet up. I'd smack him down. And it took us like half an hour of me fighting this goat to get him back in the fucking fence where he needed to be. I mean, it was just like this. And the next year we ate that motherfucker, and it was the best tacos I've ever had. Vengeance tacos. Yeah.
Vengeance tacos are delicious, even
Like,
if
don't
they're
mess
made
with
out of
my
goat.
kid. I will eat you. So there's that one. As far as the Goatman's concerned, though, reaches from about Beltsville to Bowie and to Mitchellville in Upper Marlboro. I don't know exactly where those are. I used to have a map posted somewhere, but I don't know what I did with it. His most active time period, according to the legends, was between the 50s and the 70s. And supposedly you can hear him yelling, squealing, and making, obvious goat noises just kind of out and about. And can you imagine? You're just taking a jolly little jaunt through the woods and all of a sudden you hear like these weird yelling goat noises.
It
Like,
starts off really quiet at first. It's like, meh.
and
Like, what the fuck? Was that a goat? And then it just gets louder and louder.
then it's just like yelling. I'm like, is it actually vocalizing words?
It's like, meh.
Help me!
And it's like,
Move,
fuck off.
bitch!
Get out of
Oh yeah,
here.
wait, you gotta do it with the goat sound. Fuck off! Oh geez. That was
Sounds
good.
like,
We're gonna leave all that
sounds
in.
like somebody drowning. But yeah,
Um,
I mean, why not?
I got a kick out of that. But his first reported appearance took place in 1957 when people reported witnessing a giant hairy monster in Forestville and Upper Marlboro. One rumor was that the Goatman was responsible for many canine deaths around the surrounding areas, and people's pets would just disappear and they blamed the Goatman. I'm not really sure. A local paper even wrote that a dog had been found decapitated, and members of the community were fingering the Goatman for the dastardly deed. One family's teenage daughter mentioned that she heard weird noises and saw a large creature around the property on the night that their poor little pupper named Ginger had just mysteriously disappeared. And the head of the dearly beloved house pet was said to have been found 14 years later. Of course, by then, I'm not really sure how they knew it was Ginger's head,
Right.
but that's what they say. Yeah. And he's commonly known for showing up on the road, wielding an axe, killing teens, and eating doggos.
That's his calling card.
Why doesn't he eat the teens? I mean, you shoot to kill, you kill to eat.
They don't taste very good. Uh,
Well, you don't know that. The
I
younger, the
don't.
better, right? Venison? Oh man, I just pissed a lot of people off. Um,
Yeah, I
uh,
don't know. That's a good question. I'm not really sure. Well, we don't even know if he's eating the dogs. Like,
that's true. They do disappear. But I mean, what else would you do with them? I mean, he's got to have sustenance, right?
they're his pets. He's got a
So,
dog colony.
but then what is he eating?
Wow.
And how
I
do you
don't,
explain the decapitated ginger? Oh my God, I could be a decapitated ginger.
yeah.
Oh geez.
He eats
That's
redheads. So
uh yeah.
that's why that one was decapitated
This one
because
these ones taste better. They don't have souls.
he got yeah. Yeah. Souls make him too chewy. No,
Uh
I
like
don't
the
know. That's a good
gristle.
question. But like goats don't eat meat. So foliage?
But people do.
People, yeah, they do. They don't have to. Humans don't have to eat meat. They have to eat protein, but we don't have teeth like carnivores do. So are we saying that he has
I don't know. I
carnivorous
was just
teeth?
thinking, okay, so literally you read my mind because that's exactly what I was picturing. I'm like, does he have pointy teeth?
Right. Has he got, I mean, or are they flat like a goat would be, what kind of
I
teeth?
mean,
I
but
think
pigs eat meat and they don't have pointy teeth.
pigs eat
They eat
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, anything and everything. Um, so I don't really know. I think pigs do have um like canines. I don't really know. Now let me Google pig teeth. Let's check it out. Um, they're really scary.
Oh wow. I opened my thing and it just was straight up penis.
Goat penis.
Yeah, just goat cock.
Yeah, they can have. I mean, some pigs do
Okay,
have the
not wild pigs.
not wild pigs, but like domesticated pigs. Like potbellies have scary teeth. Potbelly pigs.
True.
So I mean, but like I said, they will eat literally everything. But then again, it depends on what depiction of the goat man that you are subscribing to. Like,
Ah,
first
true.
of
If
all,
it's if
if
it's
he's
the
if he's got a human top, he's gonna have human teeth.
yeah.
But if he has a goat top, then he's gonna have goat teeth. And if he's just a weird fucking hybrid of both, he could have either or.
Maybe he goes through cycles where like he eats like leaves and shit for a couple weeks and then he eats meat for a couple weeks and then he eats Like he's battling it out psychologically. There's two. There's the goat. There's the man, and they're just battling it out.
The two, the two wolves inside of you, the two species inside of
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Like Bigfoot, I guess some people, suspect that Bigfoot, eats both, right? Meat
Yeah,
and foliage and veggies and things like that. I think he's just killing people to be an asshole.
probably. I could totally relate. You just get the rage, and you got to kill some fuckers.
Yeah.
I
I
get it.
mean, the Maryland one didn't really, I mean, he doesn't really have so again, it depends on what Goatman you're talking about. You've got the Maryland Goatman, you've got the Pope Lick Monster in Kentucky, and then you've got I think it's Alton, Texas, I believe,
Yeah,
has
I
their
think Texas.
Goatman.
We get into Texas here in a minute.
Okay, yeah. And so, I mean, depending on which one you're looking at, different goatmen have different degrees of like victims. So, like the Maryland guy, he's really just like targeting pets. And then the public monster, people say is more of like probably a spiritual thing because he possesses people to get hit by a train. And then I don't really know too much about the Texas one, and I'm not going to get into it because you're getting ready to get into it. So
Yeah, we
I'll
just got
let
a little
you
bit
do
left of our little Maryland fella before we move on.
it. Sure.
But they do say that the Maryland Goat Man lurks around a bridge in Bowie, known as the Crybaby Bridge, which is also referred to as the Governor's Bridge, or Goatman Bridge.
Mhm.
This particular bridge is a single lane bridge in Prince George County. According to lore, if you park under the bridge after dusk, you may experience hearing the screams of a crying baby or the sound of a goat. I'm not sure how threatened I would feel hearing random goat, but I definitely can't stand the sound of a baby crying. They say you may even see the goat man himself, but he's also known for jumping on cars and attacking drivers, so beware. And it is also rumored that he will deflate the tires of the vehicle so the victims cannot escape and then drag the occupant of the vehicle into the woods with him.
Well, that's what I'm
Though it does
saying.
not say what he does with it.
He's just an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, instilling the fear. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna pop your tire. Wait, how's he popping the tires?
With his axe.
That's a little excessive.
It is,
You got a little
but
smart car, and you got like this big ass axe. Well, maybe he's got like a backup hatchet or something.
he just has a switchblade.
Like my sound effects. I really got to get my own sound effects board.
I mean, it was really no, you don't. You're doing just fine with it. Because I mean, right? It was popular back in the 1950s. This
Yeah,
legend
the
of
little like yeah.
switchblade makes sense.
Or he
Yeah,
pulls the wrong one out of his pocket. He fucking pulls it out, whips it out. It's a fucking comb. He's like, damn it. And he's like searching his pockets. Fuck, fuck, fuck.
I like this idea of the greaser goat man.
With a little hairdo.
Yeah, this leather
Oh my
jacket.
gosh,
Yep.
greaser. Oh my gosh, I have got to make this. Okay, t-shirt idea,
Yeah,
greaser goat
please,
man. Okay,
please. Yeah.
I'll try to figure out if I can make that happen. Um, ugh. The lore then grew to include him attacking the horny teenagers in the local lovers' lanes. I'm not sure that I would be necking up at Lover's Lane if this fucker was like walking around with an axe, like jumping on the hood of my car. Like he's like a fucking peeper.
Yeah, he's a peeping tom. He's a
Yeah.
he's a cuck.
Oh my gosh. You like look up, like you got the dude on top of you. You guys are loving it. It's all steamy in the windows. And then all of a sudden you see like a goat penis like slide across the fog of the window back and forth because he's looking through the sunroof. Oh, ugh.
Like, that's a goat penis. I know. I googled it one time
Can
because of that podcast.
he be sitting back? And the guy'd be like, "What? Shut up, baby. I'm almost there." We just started. Um, but yeah, like, what if he like knocks? He's like, "Excuse me, can I have a turn?" Matt.
He high fives the guy in. He's like, my turn now. It's like, switch off.
He points at his head. I'm horny too. Jesus.
I mean, I feel like every time there's a lover's lane, there has to be a monster assigned to it. So like,
Yeah, of
um,
course there is. I've never
through
seen one.
the thin veil. Me neither, and I've been to plenty. But
The guy with the hook hand or whatever.
I
The
always
hash
hope.
slinging slasher.
Yeah, yeah. I always hope. I'm like, there's going to be a monster out here. And
Like,
admittedly, I think that makes me hornier when I go out to the lovers' lanes.
what if, oh my gosh, okay. Instead of it being, you meet the troll at the bridge and you got to answer 3 questions correctly to pass the bridge. What if it's like the goat man shows up and you got to fuck the goat man if you want to leave?
Well,
Would
that's
you fuck the
why
goat man?
no, that's why I only take very kinky partners to lovers' lane with me because it will be their they will have to fuck the goat man.
But what if the goat man is specific and he wants you and not them?
Well, I'd be like, can I see your penis? First of all, what are we
Excuse
working
me,
with here?
sir. Excuse me while I whip this out.
I mean, if it's
Um,
a goat penis, I'd be like, no, thank you.
oh
It's
my
because
God, it
it's
reminds me of like a giant ringworm or something. Oh, or
right. It's
pinworm.
so
Oh
weird.
God.
And I mean, even if it was a human penis, like, yeah, I wouldn't be excited about it. Like, I'm not here for animals. Like, I'm not, but like, I mean, I
What if
could
it's like the human bottom half?
dive. Yeah, but then he still looks like a goat.
But what if you're like, okay, here's what we do. I'm gonna bend over and put my head in the car, and then you can get behind me, and then you don't see the head.
I
All
think
you do,
like
you just have to get past the nah nah in the background.
I know, right? I need my headphones on for this. Um,
I need a podcast.
it's something, anything. I think I would be more like worried about like what if you liked it? Like
Ooh,
what if Goatman had the best dick you've
okay.
ever had?
Well, okay. If it was the bottom half man and it was the best, I could see some concern there. Because then you're like, damn it, because it was you. But if it's like or like you could be like, oh, but I can find another dude that's got like a goat man package, right? But if
Well,
it's like a
sure.
goat dick and you end up liking it, then you're like, well, fuck, because nothing looks like that.
Yeah. Now it's weird, right? It's
I
yeah.
mean, what are you gonna do? Shove a fruit roll up there?
Basically that's what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, if it were like a human bottom and like I said, and you enjoyed it, I'd be like, okay, well, I kind of get where the Greeks were coming from. They do that kind of shit all the time. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think some people used to put like animal heads on as like ceremonies and do it. So
but that's different. You can kind of do that now as,
would that
an
make him a
adult.
furry?
Yes. Well, no, maybe. I don't know because he's not
How does
dressed
that
like
work?
one. So it would be without a doubt, listen, without a
Like
doubt,
I
it
didn't
would
I didn't
be
I didn't choose the
bestiality.
furry life. The furry life chose me.
I think it only crosses the line into furryism if you are dressed up like a goat person also.
Really?
Yeah, because like I
What
said,
if you're not into being dressed up like it? You just want to fuck someone else that looks like it.
so if you just want to fuck a furry and not actually be a
Yeah.
furry,
Yeah.
hmm, I
I mean,
don't
it's
know.
all fun and games till you put a tail up your ass, and then it's kind of, questionable.
And then it's all fun.
I'm just thinking how messy it'd be.
I don't, furryism is there's a very thin line there. I can tell you that.
I don't know much about it. So if you know what, listeners, if any of you guys out there are furries, I would like to know how that works. I mean, maybe
So
not the sexual part, but like just the concept in general, that'd be great because I feel really ignorant and I would love to be educated.
fun fact, we had a furry on our show and
Oh,
talked
that's
about
awesome.
furries. Yep, on Wednesdays we talk weird. So there is an episode that we did on furries.
That is
And
awesome.
we asked the hard questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sounds.
But when it comes to Goatman, like I said, if you have sex with Goatman, you are performing bestiality. Period. But because he's
But is
consenting,
it?
yes, because he's a happy
Because
animal.
you're fucking you're fucking the half that's human.
Well, sure, but it's attached to a half that's an animal. I would imagine that it's bestiality. But like I said,
But if it's a
because
human
he's,
penis, is it still bestiality?
I don't know. I would
Okay,
consider it
okay. You know
bestiality.
what? We're gonna say yes because if you put a strap on say a cow, it's still gonna be bestiality.
It's still gonna, but the difference, like I said, is that a cow can't consent, but a goat man could.
Okay.
So that is
Mark
like
was a moo
so
twice for yes.
ethically, right? Ethically speaking.
Can you sign here with your hoof print here, please?
I mean, first of all, if the goat man's going around raping people anyway, like that's already like not a good person, but
True. True. That's a whole other can of worms.
it is.
But we'll just, on that note, swap on over because the other version of the Goat Man is involving the historical Old Alton Bridge in Denton, Texas. And the Old Alton Bridge links the gap between the city of Denton and Copper Canyon. For anyone interested, this location is only about a half an hour away. Oh, no, about an hour away from Dallas, in case you want to go visit it. It's composed of trusses, and this style is easily identified by the connected elements forming triangular sections. Apparently, I went a little architect in my notes there. Um, but because the bridge was constructed initially to only support horses, the single lane concept proved to be slightly inconvenient once automobiles came into the picture. Since only one at a time could fit on the bridge, the tradition of having to sound the horn before crossing to make sure other vehicles don't get stuck and you don't have an accident. But later they built a bridge adjacent to it that could handle the more modern methods of transportation. And this made the Goatman's Bridge a more popular destination for hikers, bird watchers, photographers, apparently anybody wanting to get fucked by a goatman. The list goes on. It even earned a position on the National Register of Historic Places, which I thought was very interesting. And
So, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, are people, is the bridge in use now? Is it like a car bridge or
Yes
like
and
a
no.
train?
As far as I know, they built the adjacent bridge to allow vehicles, and then they kind of turned the other one into like a hiker, like almost like you would see a bridge like in the woods, only massive. Oh my gosh, that just
Okay.
gave me a flashback of something I did when I was younger.
Did it involve Goatman?
It involved a deserted bridge
Oh, nice.
that was for trains, like actual choo-choos, not other trains, to clarify.
Sure.
It was a good time. Um, I totally forgot about that.
So it's like a hike. It's like a walking trail. It's like
Yes,
included in like a walking trail. Gotcha.
yes. But the Texas Goatman is rumored to have once been a normal man named Jack. And again, Jack was a farmer who absolutely adored his flock of goats or herd of goats. Is it a flock or it's a herd? Herd of goats. Jesus, flock of goats. Fuck me. Then one afternoon, some men paid Jack and his goats a visit. The following night, deputies went looking for Jack, but he was nowhere in sight. A couple weeks later, people started reporting strange noises and sensing a horrible smell coming out from under the bridge. After a multitude of complaints, deputies went to investigate, and they were stunned at what they found. They suddenly turned to see a very large creature with glowing red eyes holding Jack's lifeless body and the head of his most prized goat.
Hmm.
I'm not really sure what happened to the rest of them.
So, okay, hold on. So the creature that's holding him is not a goat man or is a goat man.
Well, the next thing is describing it.
Okay.
So let's describe it, then we'll come back.
Sure.
So the goat man in this particular location is described as standing about 8 feet tall, which is about 2.5 meters. The chest and arms of a human with the bottom half of a hooved goat. Its head is reportedly like that of a goat with large curled horns and ominous glowing eyes. The fur has been described as either a deep, fiery red color or such a dark black that it seemingly disappears along the edges of the trees. And he is thought to be able to jump long distances and extremely high. This is like a different type. So this is saying goat legs, human torso and arms, but a goat head with
What a
horns.
goat head, yeah. So that to me that describes like the bipedal, like the anthropomorphic Bigfoot type goat man.
Yes.
I would imagine his torso isn't like just skin, right? I mean, but he's got
Well,
like
I mean
hands.
that's all it says. It's just a chest and arms of a human.
He's got
Oh my gosh,
titties.
like Arnold. He can like pump his pecs.
Yeah,
Tits, baby.
yeah. Why not?
And then I'm still picturing the greaser. Greaser goat man. Oh geez.
I like the greaser goat man.
That's gonna have to be a thing. I've got to figure out how to do that.
Okay, so he is obviously some type of goat man, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
What
Is the
gets me
legend?
is the the ominous glowing red eyes. That seems less cryptid or physical thing and more of a like demonic, oh shit, Satan in the flesh type scenario.
Oh yeah, definitely. I also find it interesting that he is either a ginger or super black.
Right. I was like, that's totally different. Trust me. It's funny. Ginger, obviously, naturally, I'm ginger, and I would dye my hair black, and it is very different.
It is. Right, it is. So, that is like I said, I've never heard of a ginger goat man besides this. This is the first
Yeah.
time I've come across this.
What if
Interesting.
there's more than one and they just are describing it as one, but it's multiple accounts, and one sees a red one and one sees a black one?
Well, true. I mean, has anybody ever seen this thing shift colors?
I don't know. I mean, not that I can think of.
So then therefore there could be more than one.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
which goes back to like the lore of it, which if are they like implying that Jack turned into a goat man or was turned into a goat man or
Well, because see, that's what's interesting because they said that he's holding his lifeless body
right.
and the head of his favorite goat.
Yeah, why?
If the creature, it can't be that Jack is the creature because then where the fuck is Jack's head? How do they know it's Jack?
Well, I'm assuming Jack's head is attached to his body. Wait, so no, hold on. So, right, the creature, which we don't know yet, is the goat man or not. It doesn't sound like there's a description besides a giant creature.
Yeah.
So, like, it could be Bigfoot, or whatever, holding this guy. And so he's holding Jack's lifeless body, but Jack's head is cut off, and in place of the head is Jack's favorite
It
goat head.
says it's holding Jack's lifeless body and the head of his most prized goat. I'm assuming body in one, head in the other.
Right, goat head in the other. So we're assuming Jack's head is still attached to his body.
No, because well, no, you know what? You're right. I
It
guess
doesn't
I
say
just
he's
in
decapitated.
my head, his head was gone.
You picture that
So
his head is
no,
gone.
I guess his head is still there.
I mean, it could be, right? Jack's been decapitated and Jack's favorite goat's head is now on his body.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense because he's also got goat legs.
That's true. But again, is the creature that's holding him anyway, is that a goat man? We don't really know.
What
No,
if
I
the
thought
creature is something demonic or something and it created the goat man
it
from
could have.
random parts of the whole herd and the shepherd?
Like it is Satan and he has pieced
Yeah.
together this goat man amalgamation.
Yeah.
That could very well be.
The lore for this one states that if you park at Goatman's Bridge, turn off all the lights, and honk your horn 3 times, the Goatman himself will appear. Any pets manage to escape their property and roam towards the bridge, they go missing, and the Goatman is to blame, saying that he would catch and eat them. Not only may you see the demonic entity, it is said that simply crossing the bridge at specific times will open a portal to hell itself, which is interesting. Can I peek in that little hole, see what it's like?
Right, what's in there?
As long as that was one that like sucks you in like a black hole and you can't get out, then no go. I don't want to see it. Uh, but witnessing this monster is said to be followed by a multitude of mysterious missing persons in the same time following the sighting. So you see the monster, you get away, but then you fucking vanish, which is super creepy. Maybe it comes and gets them.
Yeah, or it
Like
lures you
they tell
back
somebody
into
about
it.
it, and he's like, "Oh shit, they're gonna know," and so he goes and he like snags them, but he doesn't know that they've already told people, so it's defeating the purpose.
It's a little too late.
Yeah, so he's like, "Oh fuck,
But he's
I
already
gotta get."
committed to the bit, so
Yeah, I mean, I might as well. Some people think that he lies dormant for potential numbers of years at a time,
hmm.
only rising to hunt, feed, and go back into dormancy. His place of slumber, which we were talking about earlier, is believed to be under the old Alton Bridge, which small animals missing, people missing, thing that hibernates. Kind of sounds like a bear.
Are there bears in Texas?
Oh, hey, Texas people, do you have bears?
Right.
Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Um, but rumor also says that if you say his name while crossing the bridge, you will summon the beast. If this occurs at night, he will come out to hunt and go back into his den to sleep when his name is mentioned, once more. So it's like he doesn't come in and out on his own. He only comes if you summon him kind of situation.
So how does he know that his name is Goatman?
Well, I guess it doesn't specify what name.
Well, right. Is it Jack? Is that another, I mean, or
Oh my God, imagine being over here. You got a little kid, and your little kid takes off, and you lost him. You're like, Jack, Jack,
his name's
where are you, Jack? And then this fucker is like, you rang?
it comes like a barreling at you with his penis out.
It's like it's like flipping around like a fucking helicopter. Oh my God, it's a propeller. Penis peller. Oh my gosh.
You're just like, what is happening? I don't
I'm like,
know.
I'm just looking for my kid.
Sorry.
Have you seen him?
My Midwestern self, I'd be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, my bad.
I don't, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, how does he know what his name is? I don't know.
Yeah, but
Um,
well, another thing too is they say if it occurs during the day, he gets thoroughly pissed off because the disruption of his typical sleep cycle and becomes even more aggressive. So, same,
Same. Yeah,
wake me
big
up.
same. Right.
Legend goes that if you cross the bridge at 3 a.m., you may experience visions of fire and brimstone since the portal to hell will be open.
Hmm.
They also say the goat man is not alone at this location, but is accompanied by a young lady who wails and cries at the center of the bridge. The story states that many years ago, the goat man stole the woman's child. Oh, fuck, she was looking for Jack. When she became aware of the sinister crime, she visited the bridge and threw herself over the edge, falling to her doom. And her ghost now haunts the bridge ever since. So you have a ghost bitch and a goat man.
Yeah. He seems to like make friend like because okay, so like the Maryland one, he's got a baby with him, right?
Well, they
He
just call it you hear baby crying. But then again, there's a lot of animals that will make that sound to lure things in.
Yeah.
I think it's like there's like some wild cats in particular, like maybe a cougar or something.
Hmm.
They sound like babies crying. And they also have a bunch of other mythical or creatures or lore that I'm going to cover, I'm sure, at some point that intentionally make the sound of crying children to lure people into the woods so that they can then attack them and probably eat them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I will say notoriously there are no cougars in the eastern part of the United States, allegedly.
Oh, there might be. How old you got to be a cougar? You get look
I
out,
beg
young
to
men.
differ. Yeah.
See, I like them silver foxes, so
That's true.
clearly
You're like a reverse cougar.
I am. Maybe whenever I get old, I'll flip it. I'll be a cougar.
I just like to
You go
imagine
from
that
you go from kitten to cougar.
it's like an overnight transformation.
Oh,
Um, I'd like to imagine that the goat man's making friends. Like I said, he's got a little ghost baby friend, and he's got a woman down in Texas.
got a woman down in Texas. Southern Belle.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they oh sorry. Another ominous report dates back to 1962. And the story goes that the goat man killed 14 hikers. A few survivors reported that the goat man brutally dismembered his victims while making weird noises. And each time the authorities would go to investigate the scenes, they would be horrified when they stumbled across lifeless and decapitated bodies strewn around the floor. Well, the ground floor. One account said that these 14 victims were two adults, 12 children, and they were actually out for a hike. So you had, and I thought I saw somewhere where it was like two church members and their gaggle of children that were just out on a walk and stumbled across something, and they were all basically just slaughtered.
Wow.
Which I mean, it could be anything. It could be a bear. It could be whatever is out there. I'm sure there's something, or maybe just some fucked up dude, like a cracked out hobo.
It sounds to me like a cult, like a death cult.
Yeah.
I mean, those happen a lot.
The last little bit I have is that this Horned hybrid monstrosity has been reported in Louisiana, Texas, Maryland, Kentucky, and a lot more states. So this some bitch gets around, or there's multiple of him.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's multiple in different styles, or if it's multiple of the same style.
Well, like I think obviously it's what do you mean? Like there's one of each different style?
Like maybe Maryland has the bottom goat, top person with horns. Texas clearly has goat head, goat legs, Arnold Schwarzenegger middle piece. Maybe Kentucky has, human bottom, human everything, but it has a goat head. You know what I mean? Like different variations of it.
It could be. That could be the case. And then they're all just totally, completely separate from each other. And they're just pissed off because we keep rolling them up in the same group.
And they couldn't be anything that would procreate, right? Because then they would all look the same.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, I mean, similar. I mean, I don't think you'd go from, goat legs to human legs.
I mean, if we're talking about hybrids anyway, and somehow it has been possible to create a goat human hybrid, which scientifically speaking right now is not possible. But if somehow, life finds a way.
Yeah, with
Um, you know,
but
bringing it back full circle. No,
you're just really
if
trying. You're
that,
trying to wrangle him in, aren't you?
I'm telling you, Jeff Goldblum,
I mean,
whatever.
I'm sure he's a nice dude. He just doesn't tickle my fancy.
He can tickle whatever he wants. It's Jeff Goldblum.
I about
Anyway,
shot Mountain Dew everywhere. About shot my
well,
shot.
you gotta shoot your shot sometimes. So, anyway, so we're already talking about something that we have no basis in, so but let's just say that that's happening and it is then breeding. I could imagine then that it could mix whatever. So like it could have recessive genes, right? Recessive human genes that could contribute to their offspring having human legs, even if like both parents have goat legs.
What if they're not even from here? Not that they're alien of any sort, but
They're from like Europe.
what if they're from like a weird dimension
Sure.
thing, and they cross over, and they're it's like, and I've heard stories of this from people where they're just walking in the woods, and then like all of a sudden they walk out and they're like, wait a minute, this house wasn't here. I just walked through here. That wasn't here. And then they like walk a little further, and all of a sudden it's almost like they just have like this weird warp where they like go in a different universe, and then come out the same side. And it's
Like in the
really
Blair Witch.
strange. Yeah, so well, maybe I don't know, I didn't see it. Um, I really need to get out more. But maybe like, Goatman's just doing his thing in universe B, and all of a sudden he's like on a bridge. He's, oh wait, that one bridge has a portal to hell. What if he's just walking? He's like, oh fuck, I got too close to the portal. Ah shit, shit. And he's like, let me back in, guys. Bob, this isn't funny anymore.
And he's got to kill so many people in
Oh,
order to get back to
oh,
hell.
oh, and what if it's okay? I got it. I got it. So it's demonic of some sort, right? It's clearly demonic. It's, goats and demons, and that's how
Sure.
everybody and all religious people talk about demonic, and it's all goats. Um, all goats all the time.
Yep.
And you ever get it's like you get the new guy, right? The new hire, and you're like, hey, I need you to go get the blinker fluid from the basement. Clearly, there's no basement. So he's just like walking, looking for it. All of a sudden, whoop, he stumbles out. He's like, ah, shit.
And
Where am I? Clearly, I've been punked. You got me. And then, but maybe some of them were like, you know what? Fuck this place. Fuck this job. I hate you all. And then they go through the portal, and then they just like haul ass to Maryland.
they go off the grid.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, can't catch me now, suckers. And so maybe it's like an escape route for some, but for some it's just like a prank. And so like, and maybe that's why he only comes out every so often, because they don't get new hires every day.
True. It's hard to find good workers anymore in hell.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be like, hey, can you go look for this? And they're sitting around, all of a sudden they're like, oh shit. Because
another walk off.
yeah, can you even look? Like, can you see it? So if it's a portal to hell,
Yeah.
one, is it a vertical portal? Is it a horizontal portal? Is it like, you're just walking, all of a sudden, whoop, oh shit, I'm in hell? Or is it, I can clearly see that if I go through this, it's not going to be fun? Or is it an illusion where everything looks normal, but if you touch it, there's an episode of this on Twilight Zone where it was like a wall or space under the bed and a wall, and it looked just like it was supposed to, but you could put your hand through it to get to this other, like to go through the portal.
Yeah, yeah.
Because can you
I love
imagine like a
Twilight Zone.
discrete portal?
So it just depends on I think probably there are discrete portals all around the world that we can't see until we are passing through them. And that's just based off of personal accounts that I've gotten from people that think that they may have actually fallen through them before. But then you have like at Skinwalker Ranch, where you had these scientists that were observing things seemingly coming out of one of the orange orbs. So
Ooh,
you've
what
got
about
oh
Mel's Hole?
oh God, I love Mel's Hole. That's my
I know
favorite.
I gotta do that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
one. And then
that's a weird
they put a
one.
sheep down there, right? And then it like nuked the sheep from the inside out.
Oh my God, no, it was like it came out. It was like horrifying and like a weird
Oh yeah,
creature
it's
was
like you put a
birthed out of
sheep
it.
in, you get like a, I don't know, penguin. I don't know why I was thinking a penguin, but
It was fucking weird. It was like amalgamation of like different animals, and it like
yeah,
came out of the dead sheep, and it was horrifying. I love Mel's Hole.
yeah.
We covered that too over on the show, so it's that's classic. But yeah, but in that case, like the hole was so deep you couldn't. I mean, it's hard to tell if
But
you
is
could
it a
see
portal?
the portal or not.
What if everything they were dropping down, they were just dropping it through the portal and back?
Right, and then it's making things weird. But it was so deep down that it was you couldn't tell.
But at what point is it a portal? Is it at the ground level at the portal? Is it like 200 feet down at the portal, a mile down at the portal?
I think that there was speculation as to when the weirdness started down inside of Mel's Hole, but
Didn't they
because we
send a
could never
guy down in
find
a
it.
bucket or something?
No, Mel's Hole probably isn't real, unfortunately. Nobody's ever found it besides that one guy who called about it all the time.
I thought they had somebody that they were like experimenting with it.
Nope. Yeah,
Yeah,
super
some
weird.
weird. but but yeah, I'm just wondering, maybe possible that they could, and but maybe, oh my gosh, okay. So what if it is a portal to another universe, but it's not a weird goat man coming through? What if it's literally, again, you can't see it, but it's fucked up and it'll like totally like destroy you because like don't go in black holes and all that stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
And what if it's just a dude? It's another dude. It's another Farmer Bob, and a goat, and they're just walking, and they just so happen to stumble across the portal. They accidentally go through the portal, but because the weird molecular whatever to get to the other side, it morphs him into a goat man.
That
And he comes
is
out and he's like, "What the fuck happened?"
that's more so that's more closely related to the fly than the scientific experiment from Maryland.
Mm.
So yeah, I could see that. Yeah, he's making like a teleporter, and a fly gets in with him while he's teleporting, and when he comes out the other side, he's got fly DNA now. So
Oh.
yeah, so and then slowly the fly DNA kind of takes over.
But it could
So
make sense. I mean, if that's
yeah,
what's happening, that could be why there's variations, because maybe
right.
because when your molecules get your whatever get ripped apart and put back together, they're probably not going to come back together all the same every single time. So what if it's just a bunch of poor fucking farmers and their poor little goats, and they're just like, oh shit, and they just come out all jumbled?
And in their universe, there's like a legend that like you could just like slip into a hole somewhere and never come
Yeah,
back.
just disappear. To them, there's some mysterious presence or entity that if you go walking through those woods or through that field, not 420, oh dear God, 411 situation,
Yeah.
you just disappear.
And then you
What if it
reappear
is like
as
a
a goat man.
forest? Like it's like a forest there, and they're like, well, if you go in there, you might just disappear and vanish.
I personally don't subscribe to the idea of flesh and blood goat man. I think that it
Yeah, I think it's
is,
hard to wrap my mind around.
yeah, I don't think that there's like a breeding population of goat men out there, all rubbing their weird dicks together or whatever to make babies. I think that it's got to be something
Oh, that's like a good
else.
point. What about female goat? Are there goat
Right. Goat
ladies?
women. I don't know. Well,
And
like I
what would
said,
they look like? Oh my God, would you have like 8 titties?
right, you'd have to. Oh, that'd be neat.
I
That'd be
love
neat to have
titties.
8 titties.
I wouldn't want 8 titties. Can you imagine that? Well, I mean, unless, I guess you don't follow the normal stipulations of having to wear like 8 fucking bras. Can you imagine going to Victoria's Secret? I'm a B cup, like, which clearly is not. I haven't been a B cup since I was 9.
It costs you like $400 to put to just for one set of bras on your titties
Yeah,
at
actually, it cost
Victoria's
me a lot
Secret.
more than that, to be fair.
Right, probably. Yeah, and then they're all different sizes. So
Uh, what if they're in order? They're like chronological. You have the A cup at the top, the B cup, the C cup, and then you just got like these big giant bags, and you're like, you can't do anything with them.
right at your hips.
Those would be my titties. I'd be at the waist. And then you could like judge and be like, well, Billy, how was it? What'd you think? Well, I thought you were about a 3-level titty on the goat lady. Oh my
So
god.
we measured tits now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There haven't been like it's always been, I guess, male, which we don't really. I mean, how do we know that they're all men?
Well,
Um,
unless they're slinging around that dick.
penis. They're weird goat penis. That was another thing. So, like when we did our episode, my
Oh my gosh.
co-host
Sorry,
had.
I just had like this gross picture, an anteater tongue.
Oh,
But if it could control it like an anteater tongue.
well, true.
But anyway, your friend.
When we no when we covered it, my co-host had dug up something that said that the Goatman was known for raping women, and I couldn't find
I
any
didn't see anything that said
credible
that.
reports about that. Yeah, I mean, so the only report that
I mean,
I came across was from another podcast, and but that was it. I mean, I don't know where they got it from. They didn't cite their source. I'm like, I have not heard this, but I
yeah,
mean,
I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, all I hear is like they get him and they just murder everybody.
right. Which still isn't great, but like, you know,
Yeah.
I didn't. So anyway, if he is sexually assaulting people, then like, yes, obviously we would know if it's a boy or a girl. Uh, but
And like
I haven't found anything that said otherwise.
what if it was like the weird one where it's like the goat head and the arms and the chest of a woman. She's got
Sure.
like this kick ass rack, and then like the legs of a goat. Does she still have the JJ?
She could have a goat for JJ.
The rack, and then she had dick and balls of a goat.
Why not?
I guess it depends on which part. Maybe they're all men because, see, maybe we're going back to my theory. Maybe it's all men because most of the time the men were the shepherds. Women
Sure.
didn't do that. And that's why they're all men.
Could be. That could be.
I'm
I'd
just
buy
trying to
it.
picture a goat lady. What if she didn't even have boobs? What if it was just like little nips?
So back in the so if you're looking at if you're like really backtracking like potential goat people, back in olden times with like satyrs and stuff, they could be women. Some could be like, but they're more like centaurs and they're more like top half of a human, lower half of a animal. But there were women, satyrs back in the day.
True.
But they're not really, I mean, that's
Or like centaurs.
yeah, right. And they had, women figures. Um, we don't in the modern day reports again, when I picture Goatman, I think of like the Bigfoot type Goatman, I guess is for lack of a better term, which we don't really know. We can't, nobody's like reaching in the
Oh,
Goatman's crotch to check.
that's a good point. Yeah, I'll probably definitely hit you up and get you on another one
Sure.
if I can get a good one. But we'll go ahead and wrap this up. So again, Ashley from On Wednesdays We Talk Weird.
Mm-hmm.
So again, everybody, I'll put the links and information in the description so you can find her there everywhere. You have social media and everything. Make sure that you go check her out. Well, check them out. I guess there's more than one of you. So check them out. Give them some love, listen, subscribe, rate, everything. Just, I mean, it helps everybody out and she kicks ass. So I guess that's really all I have to wrap this bitch up. And until next time, I'll see ya.